So why did I move from London to Dubai? And a lot of people ask me, what was the process of doing it?
Tell me more.
So there's a point where complaining doesn't get you anywhere.
What?
And you just need to take action. I've heard again and again people complain about the UK and London in particular and the massive downturn it's taking. House prices have got to the point where they're completely unaffordable to the middle class and professionals. Life quality factually is not getting better in the UK.
Oh God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
There's a point we have to stop burying our head in the sand and acknowledge what is happening. One of my friends I went to university with at King's was a 32-year-old consultant and his wife's a dentist. They are struggling to buy a 2-bedroom flat. It's crazy. A doctor and a dentist can't even afford a flat. His older peer at work, who's also a consultant in his 50s, said by 32 he had 3 kids that went to private school, his wife didn't work, and he had a 5-bedroom detached house. In the USA and Dubai, consultants' wages are 4 times what they are here, with lower house price and lower tax. You have a dual economy in the UK now. You have people floating around in a house bought by their parents, and they have little outgoings because they have no mortgage. The other side is you have people having 5 children, 5 different men, and claiming welfare. Healthcare and benefits are needed for people that need it. Unfortunately, it's been abused and poorly run in the UK for far too long. We have a government that are giving backhanders to friends and contracts, but the average person cannot afford to make ends meet. The UK economy can't hope, putting up taxes higher and higher to the point companies can't make any profit anymore. The UK government have to wake up and realise it's a free market. Countries with lower taxes, better infrastructure are going to beat the UK. A lot of people can now work from a laptop, and most countries talk fluent English. I was planning to leave London for a while, but my accountant, James, told me you can't be in the UK for more than 90 days from April the 4th, 2023 to April the 5th, 2024. I was at 87 days, so booked my flight, packed my bags and moved to Dubai in 2 days. You can complain as much as you want. There's a point to complain there's nothing, and you just have to take action. Everyone can see what's going on in the UK, but very, very few people do something about it.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
How did I move? What was the whole process? What were the pros and cons of moving to Dubai? There's so many questions I got asked, but I'm going to go through absolutely everything. So how did I move? Like I said before, I packed 2 cases and left.
I am packing my bags and I'm out of here.
In terms of who sorted out everything for me, there's a guy called Tushar. He works for Shams, which is a big company in Dubai, who works as my accountant. In terms of the whole procedure, I booked a week at the Ritz-Carlton in JBR. And then I moved into a place called Sonder. A lot of people know it. It's basically a high-end 1-bed flat, like a hotel. Very, very nice. Not too expensive, about £100 a night, because I went in July, so it was completely non-peak season. It was very, very hot, but things were much cheaper when I moved out there. So the whole process was, you have to get your company set up. This is myself. Tushar sorted the whole thing to get your residency and your company set up. That took around 3 weeks. So to set everything up in general is going to take about 3 weeks a month. The whole cost of the company and the residency was £3,500, thereabouts. In terms of accommodation or moving to a flat, you're going to pay around for something that you would like. So I live right in the centre, right next to Dubai Mall, in a lovely hotel, the other side as well, with a swimming pool, sauna, plunge pool. It's lovely. And that's around £2,200 a month with bills. So people complain always about Dubai being more expensive. Imagine if you lived in the centre, right next to Selfridges, it's going to cost you around £9 a month. So it is not more expensive. In terms from day to day, it's around the same. Taking taxis is incredibly cheap. So for me to go to the marina, which is around 20 minutes to half an hour away, is around £12. So it's very, very easy to get around. So when you first go there, you will not need a car. You can use taxis to get around when you first get there. Another thing that's very, very important as well is when you pay for a flat out here, you're paying checks. So you pay basically 4 months up front and you pay in bulk every 4 months. Also, my flat is furnished, so you have to pay a furniture deposit, which is around £3,500 as well. The other thing as well is, so if you're going to pay that all at once and set up the business, the whole cost of everything is probably going to cost you around 20,000. This is being very honest with you. Unless you're earning a good amount of money, it probably isn't worth moving to Dubai. The reason being is because you have to have the tax benefits. If you're earning a good amount of money, you'll get much more back in terms of the tax benefits, long-term and short-term. But a lot of people you probably notice on Instagram are moving to Dubai and they suddenly come back after a month. This is the reason. It's going to cost you a lot when you first set up. And you're going to have to do it properly through a company and make the actual plunge. A lot of people like the idea of moving. When it comes down to it, it is a lot of hard work when you first move. But once that's sorted, it's the best decision you'll ever make in your entire life. And it's the best decision I've made in my life. The problem with a lot of people is the pain point isn't big enough. So they'll be in the UK, things are okay, but dog shit. But they won't change anything because the pain point isn't big enough. Sadly, what's going to happen is the pain point will become big enough when interest rates go up even more, house prices drop, people default on their mortgages, they can't afford their mortgage. They move back with their parents and they owe the bank for the rest of their lives. The issue is that's going to be too late by the time people want to move. People will ask me all the time about how to move. They ask me for my contact, etc. You're going to do it or you don't. The same thing with getting into shape. People like the idea of it, but actually what they'll do after a while is pretend things are fine until it isn't fine, which is what's going on in the UK, a lot of the US. Day to day, it is not more expensive. It's around the same as London. So depending on where you come from, it might be different, but for London prices, they're around the same day to day. The reason people think it's more expensive is because they're going partying and drinking and doing this other stuff. If you go to just nice restaurants every so often, it's about the same. In terms of bad things, I'm going to go through absolutely everything. So the only bad things I've come across have been the driving. People are mental. The driving, as you can imagine, it's probably similar to going to Italy. People are just nuts. And I've never seen so many people wear sunglasses indoors, and Balenciaga. But being serious though, I've met the most incredible people here. The amazing thing about going to Dubai was I'm sure what the US was like in the 70s and the UK was like in the 70s as well. People are here to get improve their life. They're people that aren't satisfied with what they have and they want to move out somewhere that actually will give them a better life. And you actually, with the tax being lower, non-existent, and the pay is much higher. If you have a professional job, any professional job, investment bank, a lawyer, you will earn more, plus there's no tax. You'll probably earn about 3 times the amount as you do in the UK, plus housing actually costs less. It's going to pack a lot of money away if you're out here as well. Another thing as well is that what people complain about, there's no culture. It is Arab, it is Emirati, there is culture here. That is absolute nonsense, and it's not a reason for you not to move. What is the culture in the UK? Getting stabbed, getting someone to take something from you, someone flying around save the NHS while doing nothing to help the NHS themselves, complaining about London, not doing anything about it. That's British culture. So I want to be in a culture that people want to work hard and want to improve their lives. And that's what you have in Dubai. You can wear a nice watch and walk around without the threat of being stabbed. You can walk around late at night. Women can walk around late at night. In terms of what you wear, you can wear whatever you want. That is absolute garbage when people say you can't wear what you want. Absolute nonsense. That is 100% put out there to make you fearful of leaving and make you feel like you're trapped in the UK. If you have a business or you're a professional, you are completely insane not moving from London. And people, I'm going to be very blunt with you, and I'll say it to my friends, and they've actually thanked me for it when I've told them to their face, because a lot of people won't tell them this. Saying, oh, it's because of my kids I can't move, usually is nonsense. The reason a lot of people say that is they want to sound virtuous. An example would be actually one of my friends, Ali, is a doctor out here. He's head of King's College Hospital in Dubai and is a GP. One of his friends is a consultant in Wales, went to university and went to Imperial with him. And he's on around 80 to 90 grand a year. This guy's in his 40s. Creme de la creme university, top consultant. Can barely afford to look after his family. He's never going to send his kids to private school, of course, because he can barely afford housing. And that's insane, earning 90 grand a year. He said, I can't move because of my children. And my friend Ali told him, he goes, you're actually doing disservice to your children. How is moving to Dubai, you earning 4 times the amount, sending to better school, having a safe learning environment, giving your children and your wife a better life, How are you doing that for your children? You're doing that for yourself. And the end point I'm trying to make is that people will complain and do nothing about it. I was someone that London has been my home my whole life. I went to university in London and was an absolutely incredible place to grow up. I had an incredible childhood. I really, really did. I went to a really good school. My parents gave me a good childhood. Made me feel safe. The issue is, it is not the same as it was back when I was growing up. You're living off nostalgia. The London you loved before is not the same place it used to be growing up. My parents moved over. Sure, a lot of immigrants that came over to London as well. They came to London for a better life. And a lot of my friends who are moving to Dubai, they're lawyers, etc. The parents are Asian, and the funny thing is they start to realise their children are just doing the same thing as they did a generation back. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I really, really hope this helps. And sending my love. Whatever decision you make, hopefully this helps a bit. Thank you, guys.